My name is Alexander Montalvo, and I focus on grassroots organizing and building grassroots organizing infrastructure in Texas. Progress Texas provides a much-needed platform and media that is focused around progressive values that we need in Texas to amplify our message and our values, to connect with the millions of Texans that don't have a place to be able to capture their thoughts, connect with people who are doing the work. So we love Progress Texas.
It's Thursday, March 13th, 2025, and this is the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch. Rapid response on the breaking news stories Texas progressives need to know. I'm Chris Mosier. A couple of stories here at the top that, for me, combined, illuminate nicely the state of corruption that has developed nationally and here in Texas, with our most infamous transplant, Elon Musk, at its center. On one hand, as KXAN TV in Austin reports, Musk's SpaceX company is about to be the proud recipient of $17.3 million of your tax dollars in the form of a grant from the Texas Semiconductor Innovation Fund, according to an announcement from Governor Greg Abbott yesterday. This money is intended to go towards the company's expansion of semiconductor research and development in Bastrop, just outside of Austin, and SpaceX clearly needs this public money, considering that its owner, despite having about $100 billion shaved off his net worth lately due to the sudden and accelerating economic downturn he's helping Donald Trump to trigger, he's still the richest man on the planet. So there's that. And then, on the other hand, there's what's happening at the North Texas Food Bank. Candace Sweat at NBC DFW Channel 5 says they're one of hundreds of similar operations taking direct hits as Musk and the Trump administration continue their wanton slashing of billions in federal funding, including major cuts to 2 federal USDA programs that help schools and food banks purchase food from farms. North Texas Food Bank CEO Tricia Cunningham says, quote, "It's an economic incentive for some of these lower-scale farmers so they can try to be competitive with some of these larger producers to keep our farm industry strong." That would have been about $9.2 billion that we would have had to be able to purchase food. We're talking about hundreds of thousands of pounds of food that we will not be able to provide out to our community, unquote. Millions for me, but no food for thee. How much longer will Texans and Americans sleepwalk through Musk's outrageous gutting of even the basic services that our federal government provides? Well, if the market situation at Tesla is any indicator, more of us appear to be waking up. Andrew J. Hawkins at The Verge thinks Tesla may be cooked in the wake of Musk's rampage, not to mention all the Nazi saluting and what have you. Hawkins says Tesla stock this week has seen its steepest drop in 5 years, having lost over half its value since peaking back in December. Tesla owners, figuring out that those cute little Elon Musk apology stickers are an insufficient meeting of the moment, have begun selling their cars en masse, resulting in a glut on the used car market. Tesla showrooms have become more and more common backdrops of larger and larger anti-Musk and anti-Trump protests. Devin Schwartz at Vox says Donald Trump's awkward attempts this week to staunch the bleeding at Tesla have more likely made it worse, both here at home and abroad, where people are in shock at what's been happening in the U.S. and want no part of it. But again, Elon Musk is a guy who, A, is so rich that it's possible that tanking the world's leading electric vehicle manufacturer with the public might not be that big a deal. And B, Schwartz writes that Musk's unprecedented level of access to the American government is likely to permit even more tax dollars to be scooped up by his broad portfolio of companies, most of which already enjoy massive government contracts and also benefit from the boss having a lot of control over the federal regulations they're governed by. We are living through a truly unprecedented moment of corporate grift and corruption right out there in the open. People are noticing, but is it too late? We're gonna find out. Pivoting to a whole other disgusting display of exploitation, news on Robert Morris, former spiritual advisor to Donald Trump and up until last year, the head of Southlake's Gateway Church, one of the largest megachurches in the country. Morris has been indicted in Oklahoma for child sex crimes that date back to the 1980s, says Robert Downen at the Texas Tribune. 5 counts of lewd or indecent acts with a child, all of this stemming from his repeated long-term sexual abuse of Cindy Clemishire, who bravely came forward with her story last year after being rebuffed and ignored by Morris and Gateway for years. Let's recall that not only has Robert Morris enjoyed the favor of Donald Trump, but Greg Abbott has famously leaned on him as well, seeking his support back in 2017 on the anti-trans bathroom bill, with, of course, more and worse in play even now in the 89th Texas legislature. The early word on all of this had been that the statute of limitations on Morris's disgusting crimes might have elapsed and that he might, unsurprisingly really, get away with it. But in a release yesterday, Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond says that statute of limitations is not applicable in this case because Morris has not been a resident or inhabitant of Oklahoma at any time. Gotta say, it seems to me a little flimsy, but Gentner is confident from his statement, quote, "There can be no tolerance for those who sexually prey on children." This case is all the more despicable because the alleged perpetrator was a pastor who exploited his position. The victim in this case has waited far too many years for justice to be done. Unquote, agreed, and will be watching. March is Women's History Month, and as Progress Texas Advocacy Associate Tatum Owens points out, while we honor the many women who have broken ground here in Texas, we also lament the fact that we remain the worst state for them, as our abortion bans threaten forced pregnancies and have caused a rise in miscarriage-related sepsis cases and unnecessary deaths, all still either without scrutiny or kept under wraps by our Republican-controlled state government. That fight continues, and Tatum has compiled a great list of Women's History Month events happening across the state where you can get directly involved. See that list at progresstexas.org. Our mission here at Progress Texas is to counter the conservative disinformation machine, but they far outmatch us in funding. Oil and tech billionaires and religious right-wing activist groups spend a lot of money keeping their audiences in the dark. If you've come to appreciate the light we shine on important political news in Texas on a daily, ongoing basis, please know that our regular, everyday listeners form a key component of our funding here. If that's you, we could use your support as a monthly contributor, and no amount is too small. Go to progresstexas.org/donate. Thanks to Joseph Gorman, Timothy Mahoney, and Marley McKenzie, all of whom have joined the team lately. We appreciate all of you very much. San Antonio friends, Progress Texas is Alamo City bound for the first time in a while for a live podcast taping and fundraising party on Tuesday, May the 6th. We look forward to a long overdue and fun get-together at our Party for Progress in San Antonio. Again, mark that date, Tuesday, May the 6th, and keep it here for more details. Hit our web store at progresstexas.org for the merch to match your progressive values. Y'all means all, Revolution, and our most popular Humans Against Ted Cruz t-shirts are all waiting for you there, all union printed right here in Texas, of course, all at progresstexas.org. That's the Progress Texas Daily Dispatch for this Thursday, March 13th, 2025. Links to all these original stories can be found on our show notes. Progress Texas is a nonprofit rapid response media organization promoting progressive messages and actions. While campaigns come and go, we're the permanent home for progressive media and action in the Lone Star State. I'm Chris Mosier. Thanks so much for listening. Have a great day. We'll see you again tomorrow morning.